you got something?
What?
Yeah. Why DeJounte?
Why DeJounte? We thought he was a pretty good player. Sitting on the board when we picked. He's young. Obviously, there isn't a lot of history to make a selection on, but pretty supreme talent and a guy who our expectations were to go a lot higher. And as we worked through the draft, and we were at a point in time where the group we liked was pretty small, and he had been ahead of that group for the whole preparation process.
So, why do you think he fell down? Teams filling other needs, maybe?
I have no idea. They didn't call me, ask who they should pick. But young. Their team had two really good players on it that were in this draft, and we'll get our hands on him here soon. We didn't have him in for a workout. They had really limited the exposure that they had for him, so we didn't get him in to get to know him like we might have some other players. But with the age of our team, adding a young kid with some pretty extensive athletic ability and the ability to grow, I don't think there's expectations that he's going to come in and catch our world on fire, but we like the opportunity to grow.
You mentioned that you guys did get to interview him. Was that at the Combine, or?
We actually went into Cleveland and met with him at his agent's office, so we flew in to meet with him.
When was the first time you saw him, RC, on the court? When was the first time you got?
Some of our scouts had seen him prior to when he went to the University of Washington, but over the course of the year, he was, we saw him several times. He was in the Bahamas or one of the islands for one of the early season tournaments. One of our scouts was there. I saw him play a couple of times in the Pac-10, but we had people there all the time, around that group all the time.
Describe some of the things that may have stood out to you that you liked when you watched him?
He's an athletic guard. I think he's pretty good in transition. He needs help finishing, and from a shooting standpoint, he's got to get a lot more consistent and disciplined. But this is a developmental piece. So we'll get in our building and we'll know a lot more about him after the summer.
Was point guard a need for you guys, or did you just want to take the best player on the board?
I don't know that we can really go after a need. I think we were searching for talent that we felt fit us, that we could help build and grow in our chemistry and our culture, and then youth for our group is going to be important as we again transition for the future.
Is he a combo guard? Is that what you're looking at?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I don't know that you can tell. He's got good size for either position.
You like his length? Does he have good length?
Yeah.
LeBron called him while he was in the middle talking to us. He said he was coming to the best organization in the world.
LeBron did? LeBron said he was coming to the best organization in the world? Or he said DeJounte was coming.
You better get on the phone, RC.
I can't talk about that.
Just relaying a message.
Well, I got to figure out who's coming.
He told DeJounte that DeJounte was.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying.
You know if he's friends with Kevin Durant by any chance?
Do you anticipate Murray will be in the summer league with you guys then?
We'll have him here with our group soon. We'll have to work through the sequencing of contracts, and I would imagine that'll have an impact on when we get things done. So the structure of the rest of our roster will impact our ability to sign a lot of players. So.
RC, it may not be fair, but is there a guy that you could maybe compare him to that's currently in the NBA?
You're right. It's not fair. It's. I don't know him well enough yet.
Okay.
I know it's still early, but what would you like the makeup of this Spurs team heading into next season? What do you want to see?
We're still waiting on some awareness of what some of past season's team will be involved. So I don't know that we can dictate that until we have clarity on our previous roster.
Since you turned to free agency, how difficult is it to set a game plan without knowing what Tim and how many are going to do?
We've been building scenario planning for not just this season, but for every season. You have a variety of scenarios that you hope you can execute on that are sequenced and need things happen along the way. So I think we'll be ready to answer the questions that are posed to us, to hopefully find pieces within our abilities that within the collective bargaining that can help us build a competitive team. But it's way too early to know what next year looks like.
RC, can
you
you?
guys make any calls or receive any about possibly moving up or moving out in the first?
You make millions of calls, and yes, those calls were going on over the last 10 days. They get more serious today. This summer, or this draft, was one of the more difficult ones to figure out because there were so many teams ahead of us that we really had no clarity on who was in control of the pick and what was engaged with it on other places. So when you had 19 was the third pick for Denver, 22 ended up being a multiple pick with Sacramento, 23 was the multiple pick with Boston, 24 and 26 with Philly, 27 was second pick for Toronto, 28 ended up being another pick with Sacramento. So, but those were all changing hands, and there were a lot of discussions. But at the end of the day, there was a very limited number of players that we would have tried to move up for. And fortunately, one of them came to us.
RC, has there been any indication from Manu or Manu or Tim on whether they're going to return this next season?
When they have something to say, I'm sure they'll let everybody know.
Kawhi said he was obviously not going to Rio. As a general manager of the team that he works for, relieved at all that he doesn't go over there and risk injury or anything else?
I mean, there are benefits in in every situation. The national support of national team programs has been a big reason for the success of our organization for the last decade and a half. And so I think we try to help support the players in the areas that they want to participate in. We really leave it to them. But our culture, the diversity of our group has been positively impacted by national team play for a long time. So to say, yeah, you'd rather have no risk, but we also know the benefits of that participation and what we've been the beneficiaries of.
Was the Zika virus, was that a concern for you with Kawhi possibly going there?
It's a concern for everybody going there, I guess. I don't know that no more so for Kawhi than the hundreds or thousands of athletes that'll be there. But we also have a team full of other guys who potentially could be there and coaches who could be there, and we're concerned for all of them.
Did you make a recommendation to him about going there at all?
No. We're not allowed to.
Okay.
Under the agreement between FIBA and the NBA.